welcome into all our Big Red faithful, and maybe those of you who hadn't joined the faithful family yet. This is Behind the G, a podcast by Red Elephants for Red Elephants. I'm Katie B. Davis, joined by my co-host, Adam Lindsey, athletic director at Gainesville High School, and we've got a whale of an episode 4 lined up for you today. One guest, we'll tell you who it is, coming up shortly. Before we do, though, we're going to tell you a little bit about what had happened last week. We're going to tell you a little bit about what our alumni did last weekend, as it was the first weekend of the college football season. But most of all, we want to ask you all to join in on the fun. If you have a guest suggestion, if you have a topic suggestion, if you have a question you would like answered, please feel free to email me, katie.davis@gcssk.net. I would tell you to email Adam Lindsey, but hear me when I say he hears enough from you all.
Yeah, inbox is full.
Inbox is full.
Thank you very much.
He's good. So we've got a great guest coming up.
Yes, super excited about it.
Bruce Miller, only state title winning football coach in the history of Gainesville's program.
Yes.
Interesting considering he was the 18th coach.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy. Well, when you think about the names, too, that came before him, the Drain Watsons, and of course, the legend himself, Bobby Gruen, which the field we play on is named after. But we want to tell you a little bit about Coach Miller, a little more about Coach Miller coming up. Before we do, though, speaking of football, last week, put up another 40 spot.
Another all-complete game.
Yeah.
I mean, all three phases, I think, played really well. And we came out and jumped on them very early and got them behind. And I don't think they were prepared for that. I don't think they were prepared to try to make up what our offense, defense, and we-fence did. So another great game by the Red Elephants.
Yeah, 49-14. GHS moves to 2-0? 3-0. 3-0.
Yeah, 3.
We're
already
three
been
games in the season.
3 home games into the season.
Did I black out during the what happened?
I don't know. It's going quickly, though. But
yeah, it is.
But, hey, all in all, huge game next week.
Yeah, Carrollton coming to town. Now, Juju, no longer part of their Juju.
He's back up at Colorado now.
Yeah, he's back up at Colorado, which isn't saying a whole lot. But anyway, Carrollton coming into town. It's Military Appreciation Night, but also just a huge game for sort of the psyche of this year's team. If you think about Carrollton game last year, it's when everything kind of fell apart for Big Red. Yeah, we definitely they stunned us last year. I mean, I think we went into that game with a lot of confidence and been playing well. We're 3-0 going into that game last year, and they smacked us in the mouth. There's no two ways to put that about that. We've got to come out and have a good showing. I think we can. I think this team is poised to really make some noise this year, and we need to kind of set our own tone early in this game and play like we can play. And I think it could be a great game. It's going to be Max Prep's National Game of the Week. It's going to be on Peachtree TV next week. So I'd imagine there's going to be a big crowd. There's going to be a lot going on. As you mentioned, Military Appreciation Night. We certainly want to take that opportunity to recognize the military, our staff members, and everybody else that have served in the military. So it's going to be a big night. We're really excited about it. Glad that we have a little bye week right now. We had a couple little nicks and dings last week that the extra bye week will help us get prepared for. So. Huge week. Everybody's going to be pumped about next week. I will say this. Heading into the Carrollton game last year, and I've mentioned the juxtaposition between last year and this year, the differences in the two, and the differences in the way the fans felt, the team looked, everything, despite them both being 3-0.
Yeah.
But you felt going into the Carrollton game last year, you hoped.
Yeah,
there was a hope that we would do well.
That's a good way of putting it.
Going into the Carrollton game this year, after what we've seen, but more importantly, and folks, if you were at Bobby Gruen Field, if you were at City Park last Friday night, and listened to the podcast last week and heard Coach Niblett talk about the chemistry and the connection of this team, and then you saw the way they reacted to celebrating each other's touchdowns. You saw the way that they reacted to the blocked field goal. You saw the way that they reacted to each other's successes. It's a different vibe this year than it was going into Carrollton last year, even though they were 3-0 as well. And I don't hope.
Yeah.
I know what we're getting.
Yeah, and even like jumping back to last week, because as you were talking, reminded me, in the week before with Coach Nibble, we talked about that big goal line stand, not goal line stand, but where we ended up blocking the field goal. And this week they had 1st and goal from like the 1-inch line,
right?
And then it became
shut them down.
2nd and 5,
yeah.
and then 3rd and 13, and we didn't let them in.
Yeah.
I mean, this defense has played really, really good, and I think they know that they can, which is, I think, is going to be the huge difference. As you mentioned, different team chemistry this year, different mindset, as Coach likes to talk about, and that's where, like, this is just a completely different game this year. And I think Carrollton's better, but I think we are a ton better.
Oh, yeah.
And playing in all three phases the way we need to, which is going to make it, it's going to be I can't say enough about it. It's going to be a huge game.
Yeah. 680 The Fan also going to be in town to broadcast that on radio. Again, Carrollton coming to Bobby Gruen Field, coming to City Park. That will be an 8 p.m. kickoff, Military Appreciation Night, happening next Friday. Let's go ahead and look ahead at other things happening next week as well, because we've got some softball games being made up. We got a lot of home events that people can get their tickets at GoFan, get out, show out for Big Red.
Absolutely. It starts with, bye week on Friday, but Saturday we're hosting the Hall County volleyball tournament here, so you can come. It's in both gyms, so obviously everybody wants to come and pull for Big Red, but if you're pulling for somebody else, you're confused. You can get tickets and go to either
Bless
gym.
Your heart.
And watch the volleyball. I know LaCurve she's come in the office multiple times this week and said we're going to get the crown this weekend. She's certainly excited about it. But going into next week, we've got 3 home softball games. Got a couple of volleyball matches. Got home JV football against Marist next Thursday. And again, all leading up to Friday night.
Yeah. 2 home volleyball matches on Tuesday and Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday are our softball games. A huge week at our venues for Gainesville High School. We encourage each and every one of you to get out, see as much of Big Red as you possibly can, and then end it. We'll culminate it with a great night on Bobby Gruen next Friday night. So speaking of Red Elephants and things they do and things they're going to do, college football season kicked off, pun intended there, kicked off this past weekend. And listen, we've got a lot of young people playing a lot of sports, a lot of our alumni playing various sports across the Southeast, across the country. But obviously a lot playing college football, and we were able to sort of see their first action this past weekend.
Well, and it's always great we all have our college football teams we pull for, and then when we have kids that go and sign and play in college, we become fans of other teams that we've never would have followed before. So
except Tennessee.
Well, we got to pull for Tennessee. Jeremiah T-Lander.
I will pull for T-Lander. I will not pull for Tennessee.
SEC. We're SEC fans.
Whatever.
I guess I have my team. I won't pull for either, so it's okay. But point being is that, it's fun for us to be able to watch all the box scores and check as many games as we can to see how our players are playing, and it's fun. It's fun. So, I know Cedric Nicely's with Marshall. They got to go to play Georgia this last week.
I don't know if it was their pleasure or not.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they got a check out of it, so I'm sure that worked out well for them. But hey, got to play a big time ball in an SEC stadium, so you can't argue with that whatsoever. So it's exciting. We actually we had was it Murray State played East Tennessee State?
That's
we
right.
had 3 former Red Elephants.
We had 3 former Red Elephants, and then 2 of them didn't get any playing time as their backups to they're playing backup positions. But Darius Cannon, former wide receiver here, had an excellent game. Yep. And of course, Baxter Wright, backup quarterback for Murray State, and Travion Watson, backup wide receiver for East Tennessee State. To watch the 3 of them, obviously I had a vested interest in that game, whether or not he played. I was looking for my boy on the sidelines. So Baxter being my nephew, for those first-time listeners into Behind the G. But, watching the Murray State game and afterwards, to see the 3 of them.
Yes.
And I sent a live shot of obviously a very pixelated photo that I took from the television screen of the 3 of them, but a live photo nonetheless. You all know that you can do that on your Apple iPhones. The photos can be live. So anyway, I sent a live shot of that to Coach Niblett, just because I knew, seeing the smiles on their faces, not just that they congregated and had a moment of fellowship at midfield after the game, but that they were smiling and enthusiastic and enjoyed seeing each other in that time together. And it goes back to, the things he taught them when he first came in, and that's how important shared experiences are.
Absolutely, and just they're red elephants. So when you see somebody you haven't seen in a long time, you have that common bond. It just brings you right back to where you have been, and obviously Baxter, having been a quarterback for both of those players,
right.
They have a special bond as it is already.
They do, and again, it was just wonderful to see the smiles on their faces, because it was emblematic of the whole of this, and even if we want to go deeper, why we're doing this podcast, and that's the special connection that we all have as Gainesville alumni, or those who are still at Gainesville, or coaches at Gainesville, or whatever the case may be, and frankly, that is the perfect segue to our guest who's going to join us after the break, and that is Gainesville football coach, former Gainesville football coach, Bruce Miller. Obviously, his 16 seasons at the helm of the Gainesville football program. Bobby Gruen won more region championships, and but he won the ultimate prize.
Yes, and it wasn't his first time to the dance. So I mean, he had been there a few times and not been able to pull it off. So that 2012 team was special and was able to pull it off for him. And look forward to talking to him about that and what he's been up to. And,
absolutely.
And he's been kind of a little bit of a traveler since he left us, but he's kept himself in football. So that's what's exciting. I'm looking forward to talking to him.
And anyone with the stats he put up as a football coach should keep themselves in football for as long as they can. 16 season for the Red Elephants, never missed the playoffs, 8 region titles, state runner-up finish, 3 other state semifinals, and of course, a state title in 2012. Folks, when we come back here on Behind the G, we will be joined by the one and only Bruce Miller. Make sure, if you haven't yet, that you're following us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. @GoRedElephants is the handle. And bookmark our website, GoRedElephants.com, where you can find the latest news and photos from Red Elephant Athletics, plus roster and schedule information. Go Red Elephants on social media, GoRedElephants.com on the web. All the Big Red you can handle right at your fingertips. Yes, he's a legendary Gainesville coach, but he's a legendary coach in the state of Georgia. Bruce Miller joining Behind the G. Coach Miller, Adam and I are both so thrilled, not just to have you on the show with us, but have you in the room with us. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. If not, I'd be in the gym somewhere working out.
Well, we have no doubt about that. No doubt about that.
You still look like you could line up and hit somebody.
No,
much less coach. Oh, you can't. Okay. Never mind. That's fantastic stuff. Folks, we truly are excited to have the only football state title winning coach in Gainesville high school history here with us on Behind the G. But there's so many other things that you accomplished in your time at Cass and North Forsyth. And then you've moved on from Gainesville and coached at Lanier Christian, and now, am I still correct about this? You're still the OC you're the OC at Hebron.
No, I'm not.
Okay, you're not.
I have finally almost retired.
What does almost mean?
Well, last year, after we won the state championship at Hebron, I decided I'd had enough. And my Kirkland Moore, who is the middle school coach at Cherokee Bluff, where my grandkids go to school at, called me and said, well, you're not going to take Nate to Hebron with you, are you? My grandson, who's 12, is a quarterback. And he said, you're not going to take Nate to Hebron with you? And I said, no. I said, in fact, I'm done. He said, no, you're not. He said, you're going to come coach Nate. So I'm coaching Nate as a 7th grader.
Oh, that's fun.
Awesome. Wow.
But I'm a middle school coach.
You've done it all.
Well, I'm just enjoying. This is fun.
Good.
This is fun. Gives me a little something to get out of Miss Donna's way in the afternoon, and give me a chance to. Me and Nate spend a lot of time together, and the kid loves football.
That's awesome.
So we got a lot in common.
Very good. Very good.
Yes, my father was a high school football coach as well, and I love you saying. You get out of Miss Donna's hair because when he retired from coaching and was still just teaching, but retired from coaching, the way he got on my mother's nerves, because for the first time in all of our lives, he was around a whole lot. Got on her nerves very quickly, but I also appreciate that you're out there coaching your grandson. What a blessing for you, but more importantly, what a blessing for him. So when you left Gainesville, you'd been in coaching and teaching for 44 years, and you're still doing it. I got to know. What made you want to be one to begin with?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think it was the the good Lord's leading. I really battled with being a minister versus being a football coach. And one day, and I was still battling my freshman year in college. And one day the good Lord spoke to me and said, "You'd be a terrible minister." He said, you wouldn't be good in the hospital. You wouldn't be good in the pulpit. But the sideline is where you need to be.
It's an opportunity to do both.
Yes. And I've had a chance. That's been my ministry field for 40-something years. And it still is.
Yeah.
It still is. I mean, to be a good influence on kids and to hopefully let them see that, a little old country boy from North Carolina can make it.
Speaking of the little country boy from North Carolina, you went to Morris Hill College. But tell us a little bit about where you grew up, how you grew up.
I grew up in a little town called Albemarle, North Carolina.
That has got to be a little town. Never heard of it.
There's two things from there. Kelly Pickler.
Ooh, okay.
Kelly Pickler's from there, and a guy named T.A. McClendon, who holds the record for the most touchdowns in a career. He scored 177 touchdowns in a career, 77 in one season.
Wow.
I asked if anybody else played on the team. But I went to a little small high school, county school outside of Albemarle, which was smaller than Albemarle. It was about 400 students.
Wow.
And we ended up playing for the state championship when I was a senior. Of course, we got beat. But we, and I don't know, there was something in me that didn't want me to give football up.
Yeah.
I was told I was a better baseball player, and that I would get something offered in baseball. Well, I got nothing offered in baseball and basically had to walk on in football. And Mars Hill was going through a strange time. They had 2 years earlier had done away with football, and the student body walked out. The only time the student
That's
body
what I'm talking about.
at a small Baptist school walked out and refused to go to class. And they sit on the lawn till they decided to well, once they put football in, there were no players.
Yeah.
So they had to go to junior college and get people like me that wasn't very good. And so I walked on, I played. There were 45 freshmen. 6 of us graduated. 6 of us graduated. All 4 quarterbacks left the first night, and it was just I just found my place.
Yeah.
I found my place, and my college football coach, when I graduated, I told him I wanted to coach. They were trying to make plans for me to stay on the Mars Hill staff. And he said, "I got you a full-time job in DeKalb County, Georgia." I said, "First off, where is that?" I said, "The second off," I said, "What if I don't want to go?"
Yeah.
He said, "Well, go for 2 or 3 years." 50-something years later, I'm still here.
Well, listen, so what stands out to me about all of that is, first of all, the quarterbacks leaving on the first night's hilarious. And the students at Mars Hill staging a sit-in when they took football away from them. Exactly how it should be. But what really stands out to me is I feel like you maybe found your passion that ended up being, you have to be passionate about a sport to walk on and play it in college, to play it in college, period, but to walk on and play it in college. You really have to be passionate about it. And goodness knows you've lived out that passion. Again, at Cass, at North Forsyth, and thankfully for us at Gainesville High School.
Absolutely. And you talk about the passion. You have to have that passion to be a coach, because it's not all the glitz and glamour everybody thinks it is. I mean, coach knows it better than anybody. The hard times certainly outweigh the wins.
Oh, yes.
So, Coach, remind everybody that's listening, where all you went after you left us, because you didn't stop. You didn't stop at all, and you became kind of that minister, that light to not just Gainesville, but to the entire community.
Well, when I left here, I really bounced around a bunch.
Yeah.
I went to Lakeview for 1 year, worked with Matthew Gruen.
Yeah.
Then Ben Hall called me at Flowery Branch, said, "I want you to come coach my quarterbacks." I went with Ben to Flowery Branch. Then West Hall called me, and I went over and worked with their quarterbacks. And I still, a little bit, Adam, had a little bit of an itch to want to be a head coach.
Yeah.
And so LCA called me, and I went over there for 3 years.
And they were just weren't they doing 8-man football?
They were doing 8-man. The first year we were 8-man football.
Oh, wow.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference. but it was coaching. It was being around
Yeah.
kids, and we were trying to build something. And then Hebron called me. Jonathan Guest was at Hebron, and he called me and said, "Look, I need somebody to come over to coach my quarterbacks, and I need somebody to come over and help me run the offense." So I had a desire to get back into Georgia high school.
Sure.
And that worked out. But I'm telling you, Adam, we started June the 1st and we finished December the 19th.
It's a long season.
It was a long year. And I just decided afterwards that I had it. I didn't want to do all the summertime work.
Sure.
I didn't want to do a lot of the things you have to do to be competitive at the Georgia high school level. So I just kind of backed off and said, I'm going to take a year off.
Good for you.
And I couldn't take a year off. Middle school called.
Yeah.
And, but this is laid back.
Yeah. So is you haven't hit North Hall, you haven't hit Chestatee.
I'm not going to.
Is there any hope for those?
My man.
I mean, trust me, I don't want you to.
We stay away from Highway 60. We steer clear of that. What you kind of mentioned there, the landscape of coaching has changed dramatically over the last decade. As someone who's been in it for 50 plus years in Georgia, I can't imagine what all you've seen. Speak a little bit on how coaching has changed. And you said it perfectly. In order to be successful, you have to do X, Y, and Z. How has the landscape of coaching changed at the high school level since you've been in it?
Oh, wow. It has gone 360. Used to, when I first started coaching in 1974, summertime work was a little. Yeah. Now it's 4 days a week, sometimes 5 days a week. You got to get after it. The state of Georgia gives you 2 weeks off, and that's all you get off.
Yeah,
and that's new just in the last couple of years. It used just to be one.
Yes, and so it's just compiled.
Right.
You got to go to passing leagues. Your meetings on Sunday during the season. People have no idea that high school coaches just don't walk out there on Friday night and blow a whistle. I mean, it is a job.
Yes,
It's a job, and there was a thing came out last year about what they're paying Georgia high school coaches. They deserve it and more.
Yeah.
Speak it.
Well, it's just in the end, it's just not even close to the amount of hours.
No.
I remember whenever I first started coaching, a while ago, I looked at the supplement and I was like, oh, this is about 8 cents an hour.
Yeah.
And like people think that's a joke. No, that's reality.
That's reality.
When you start talking about, starting on Monday here till, for schools that practice after school, you're there till 8, 9, 10 o'clock. If you're practicing, then meeting, and that goes on all throughout the week, then Friday you're here till 1, 2, 3 a.m., depending on what you got to do. Then you're right back at it, watching film, grading film on Saturday, all day Sunday. And if you're good enough, you do that for 15, 16 weeks.
Yes, you do.
And
when you play for a state championship, the season's long.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a nice natural segue there, Coach. Have you ever been in media? That was a great segue. A state championship. Let's talk about that. Let's get on that subject a little bit and make it extended. Because as all of you listeners to Behind the G right now know, Coach Bruce Miller is the only football coach. He was to win a state title here at Gainesville High School. Now, there were 17 coaches before him. The names of which you've got your Drain Watson, Ivy Watson Field named after him. Drain Watson won Gainesville its first baseball state championship, won Gainesville High School its first team state championship overall. Graham Hickson had a good career here at Gainesville and then went on to be very well known at a small school, not very good at football, called Marist. And then you had the legend, Bobby Gruen. None of those or the 14 others before Coach Miller were able to do what he did. So we've talked about why you became a coach, your history in the game of football. I think that you've shown people the where your passion grew and how it came to fruition for you to be able to be a coach for as long as you've been one. What made you want to come to Gainesville? Coach, you just taken North Forsyth to the state semifinals, and you leave to come to a place that, was good under Steve Wilson for the couple years before you came, but hadn't been good for a very long time. And Red Elephants, one of them's talking to you right now, hadn't been good for a very long time. Let's not forget that. And you have a successful coach who goes, yeah, I want to go there. Why?
Scared to death. When Mr. Shumay called me and Wayne Vickery recruited me, Wayne Vickery called me and said, would you be interested in coming over and talk to us? So I talked to my wife and I said, we were very happy in North Forsyth. Yeah. North Forsyth is a very good place. And I said, yeah, I'll come talk, because I've always been told you always go talk.
Got to go listen.
Got to go listen. So I came over and listened to Wayne, and I met Mr. Shumay, and we talked. And about 2 weeks later, Wayne called me and said, look, he's going to call you in the morning and offer you the job. And I said, I went home, and Andrew, my stepson, was sitting on the computer, and I said, Andrew, I will not go without you. And I'll never forget the comment he made. He said, we were moving up at North Forsyth classifications to 4A, which at the time was the biggest. Mm-hmm. And we would have had to play Marist and Tucker. Or here's what he said. He said, well, I can play Marist and Tucker in 4A, or I can go to Gainesville and play White County and Gilmer. He said, we're going.
No offense to the Bobcats or the Warriors there, but he's right.
He said, we're going. And so we came, and to be honest with you, in my mind, I'm thinking, have I made the right decision? And I was sitting there one day in my office, and somebody came in and asked me something. It was 2 weeks after I'd been here, and I reached back to get something out of my desk, and honestly, I broke out in a cold sweat. I said, what have I done? I said, Gainesville's struggling. Am I possible? Is it possible for me to? And God told me, he said, look, I got this thing. And sure enough, he did. I mean, because I don't think I was capable of doing everything that happened.
First season, go to the state semifinals. And listen, I will never forget. I was still in college. And I came home specifically to watch my Red Elephants in the basement of Poor Richards. Me and my sister and my brother-in-law, and we were sitting next to Nikki Dunnigan and Amy Kerr, and a room full of Gainesville people now. The basement of Poor Richards. And it was like Gainesville's playing in the state semifinals. Like when I was in high school, we made the playoffs once and lost to Lovett in the first round, right? So we get there, and and it was this unknown. Who is this Bruce Miller guy? But man, he's got the Red Elephants playing well. They had it up on a huge projector screen. And Coach, listen, I know y'all go to the Final Four that first year and lose, but man, the love you brought back into it for the Gainesville community. Did you feel that when over that first year, over that first couple of years? Did you feel the community really behind you?
You don't know. You don't know. People like you when you win.
Yeah.
When you start losing, you're not as attractive. It was just one of those things. The Gainesville community was absolutely great to me, and great to my family.
Yeah.
Do I think my son Andrew would played at Furman if we'd have stayed at North Forsyth? I don't know.
Yeah.
But he played at Furman for 4 years for Steve Wilson, and it was just one of those things that everything just kept happening.
Right.
You coach as hard as you can. You like to say there was a plan behind that, but there's not a plan.
Right.
There's to do the best you can do, work as hard as you can, treat the kids right, try to help the kids to get college opportunities. And we were really blessed during that time to have some very good players.
Well, and Coach, when we go back and talk about your first couple of years, correct me if I'm wrong here. You were a wing T guy at North Forsyth. And then you made that. You came to Gainesville, and again, correct me if I'm wrong. There was somewhere in there where you're like, wing T's not where we need to go, and you transitioned to the air raid that you've become known for.
Yeah. Well, we were playing somebody in that time, and we lined up, and I looked out there, and there were 9 people in the box, and I said, we've got to do something different. And I did not know that there would be a quarterback coming. I knew Justin Fordham was coming, and Justin Fordham was little but could throw, and he threw for 3,000 yards the first year we went to the air raid. Now, did I know there was a Blake Sims and a Deshaun Watson coming? No, but for 6 years there, I coached some pretty good quarterbacks.
Yeah, you did.
It always helps.
Yeah, well, Michael Perry helped me with them, and they were good.
Yeah,
they were good, and they made people around them better. Nobody. I don't think anybody can tell me a receiver that Deshaun had in high school, but he made them all good.
Yeah,
and of course Blake had Tyler Jones, but in my time I've coached 6 or 7 guys that's played in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard to say.
yeah.
For any coach, you're right.
Yeah,
You're not wrong.
that's hard to say, and that's not a brag. That's just, God, that really happened.
Yeah.
So you just coach as hard as you can, and you take what gets off the school bus and what comes to the school. And I was blessed with a great coaching staff. They don't come any better. I mean, we stayed together 7 years.
Yeah.
I didn't have a change on it in 7 years.
That's unheard of.
Oh, no, I know.
It's these days. It's who we got to replace this
Right.
year. I
Right.
mean, it's just an every year thing. You can't get away from it. It's certainly when you've got a great program, because not only are coaches looking for other opportunities, people are looking to pick up great coaches and say, hey, I want them to emulate what they did there in our program.
Yes, you're right.
So
7 years you didn't have one turnover on your coaching staff.
No.
That's unreal. And the way that speaks to the Gainesville City school system, for one, then the support y'all are getting, but for two, that provides an incredible example for the guys you're coaching.
Yes.
That it doesn't get any better than where you are if you work hard enough to do something special there.
Yes.
So listen, play for a state semifinal or play in the state semifinals your first year. Fast forward to 2009, the 3A runner-up. That team, Blake Sims, Tyler Jones, AJ was on that team.
Yeah.
AJ was on that team. 2002, Final Four as well. 2011, we do special things. But there's one particular game I want to talk about. And listen, I know I'm 100% sure that your favorite game as the coach at Gainesville High School is the state title game. Would I be correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I think, though, I'm going to be talking about your second favorite
Well,
game.
let me go back there
Okay.
just a minute. Anytime we beat North Hall.
as long as we're all on the same page.
As long as I told you, we don't do Highway 60.
Well.
That's, it just,
Well,
that's just what it is.
and as you know, we'd be happy to play them anytime they were willing to come over. But for some reason, we can't get them to agree to do that anymore.
Yikes.
Boy,
Sorry.
those are some wild games.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And y'all's games with Flowery Branch when J-Bo and Flowery Branch opened up in 2002
Oh, yeah.
and immediately with Lee Shaw, and they had J-Bo and then Connor. And so on that note,
Sorry to get off the
you're no, we're so good. There was a game played on y'all's path to the 2009 runner-up finish. And the Gainesville team you had that year, Coach, arguably one of the best teams the state's ever seen.
Yes.
From top to bottom. Blake Sims goes on to be the quarterback at Alabama. Tyler Jones, wide receiver at Notre Dame, NFL. A.J. Johnson, All-American linebacker at Tennessee, goes on to play in the NFL. And then you had guys like Thomas Niles. And, it was just, an unbelievable team. But at Bobby Gruen Field, you and Flowery Branch, you're at Elephants and Flowery Branch, go toe-to-toe in the state semifinals. An environment I have never seen before, seen since, or been a part of. That week, and seeing the signs being put up and the rock being painted and just the excitement that was building. And I was a reporter at the time, and my gig was I was the beat writer for Flowery Branch. How awkward was that? They wouldn't let me cover Gainesville. But, what was that like as a coach to walk out on that field, standing room only at City Park? People were everywhere.
And this is the game that myths are made of.
my gosh.
Obviously I wasn't here and I wasn't there that night, but that game gets talked about all the time.
As it should.
City Park reaching capacity, which is unheard of.
Yeah, and on the field I just mentioned only four of the players that were special for Gainesville, but you had the best quarterback South Carolina's ever seen. and Connor Shaw was playing for the other team. Like, it was just a remarkable amount of talent. And Flowery Branch had played for the state title the year before and lost. And then, we have this incredible matchup in the city of Gainesville. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. What was it like to be part of that?
Well, I tried to stay away from it. I knew once I saw the brackets and how everything was going to work out, the first thing I did is, honestly, I tried to just shut down the noise and concentrate on my team, concentrate on what we had to do that day, but you're right, City Park was wild.
Yeah.
I remember we got over there early and just watched the crowd build. They were 3 and 4 deep around the fence.
Oh, yeah.
It was just one of those nights that, the game went back and forth. Thomas Sprague blocked the punt that really got us ignited.
Yeah.
And
got your crowd ignited, too.
It got us going because
Yeah.
it looked like, we had beaten them the last game of the regular season.
Like 44-0.
Yeah.
Like beating them.
And
yes.
they played us totally different. And, it's tough playing a team twice in a year.
Yep.
I don't see how the NFL teams do it. But Thomas blocked the punt, and it kind of ignited us. We made several big plays after that. And it just ended out. We went to the game. And, that 2009 team was a really good team.
Yeah, they were. And, I got to stay on this game for a minute because I remember driving to the stadium, and I went and parked my car over there at like 9 a.m. because I knew that I wasn't right. Went and parked my car over there at 9 a.m. and just kind of milled around for a while. And obviously the stadium's not far from the Times where I worked at the time. So, but the signs that were lining Green Street, like the chills it gives me to this day thinking about, what that drive had to have been like for you guys, pulling into that stadium and seeing all that support. And then to come out the way you came out, which was flat, let's be honest. And halftime, Blake Sims returned the punt. He returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. And then the very next series, Thomas Sprague gets that block. I'm pretty sure the ground was shaking at City Park.
It did.
It was absolutely remarkable. What was your halftime speech like?
Not much. Guys, I'm pretty much, my halftime speech has always been, this is what we need to do.
Right.
If we want to stay in the game or stay ahead of the game, in this case, get back in the game. It was just a bunch of kids and a bunch of coaches that willed it to action.
Yeah.
And it was a thrilling game. You're right. It's probably the state championship will be won, but
right.
you think about that one. There was a lot of bragging rights going in that game.
I've got one more thing about that season, and then we'll get to the state championship here. I've told Adam a couple of times, state championship game, 2-point conversion, the difference between winning and losing, and the Red Elephants on the wrong end of it. Walking, in the under reaches of where did y'all even play? The Dome.
Yeah.
The under reaches of the Georgia Dome. Get to the locker room, obviously to do post-game interviews and whatnot. And I've never seen you like this. You were on the floor, seated on the floor with your head in your hands. And y'all had just been literally defeated on the scoreboard, but I've never seen anyone look so defeated. Almost as though, like, that was the last great opportunity. And when you think about the talent on your team, why wouldn't you have thought that? But I've never wanted to hug someone so much in my life as I wanted to hug you in that moment. And obviously didn't because wildly inappropriate. But not knowing what was coming in a Deshaun Watson, in a Fred Payne, not knowing what was ahead for you. What was that moment like as you tried to take Gainesville to the pinnacle of the sport for the first time in a very storied history?
Well, it's pretty deflating.
Yeah.
We decided to go for 2. How close we came to completing the ball. The player for Peach County, somebody talked to him later. He said, I got these 4 fingers on it. Mm-hmm. That's the difference in us completing the pass to Tyler Jones. and we lost. And I worry about the kids and the coaches. I worry about them. I'll get over it one day. One day.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I'll get over it one day. But I wanted to have the right words or say something that would to those kids and let them know that it wasn't their fault. Mm-hmm. It wasn't their fault. We played hard. We just came up 1 point short. And I just wanted to have that. As a coach, you want to have, in a losing situation, you want to have the adequate words to say to those kids that they will bounce back. Of course, they'll bounce back a lot quicker than I would, but you want to say the right thing.
You want to have the right words all the while you're hurting too. You're human too.
Yes,
you're hurting in that situation, and you've got to pull yourself together and find the right words to lift those kids up and have their best chance at lifting their head up, being positive. So
we're going to end this with the one accomplishment that has yet to be replicated, the one accomplishment that had never happened before, and that's leading Gainesville to a state football championship. First of all, is it kind of surreal to you when people you're the only coach in Gainesville's history to win a state football title?
That doesn't seem real.
Yeah.
Because there's been some mighty good football teams before this that it didn't happen for some reason or another. Chris Carpenter tells me about when they played and they were fixing to tie the game and the extra point snap slipped through his hands in the pouring down rain. It's just, when you look at the success of Gainesville high school football and that they have not won a state championship, it's really kind of shocking.
Yeah.
Because, the success has been there, the records have been there, and it just didn't happen.
And I think people often forget how ridiculously hard it is to win a state title. It's not just about having the best players, the best coaches. You got to have a whole lot of luck.
Well, I tell you what, that bracket's got to follow your way too.
That's true too. That's true too.
We were supposed to play Northside, and Ware County upset them 20-19 in the state semifinals. So we ended up getting Ware County, who had just had a tremendous upset in the Georgia Dome, and they had to travel 5 hours to get here. We had to travel 45 minutes.
Yes.
It makes just a huge difference.
Everything. You got to take every little piece and make it fall your way.
Exactly right.
I think about that state championship year. Y'all were the number 2 seed in the region. You didn't win a region title.
We tried to give it away.
What was it like? Lost the last 3 games of the regular season?
We lost the last 2.
Last 2. Yeah.
We lost the last 2. Flowery Branch beat us.
Yeah.
And put them in the number 1 seed. But I remember meeting with our kids on Sunday afternoon before we started. I think we played Rome in the first round. I can't remember. But I remember meeting with our kids and said, guys, the year before, the New York Giants had won it from not the runner-up, but what's the games they call?
The wild card.
Wild card.
Yeah.
They had won the Super Bowl. And I told them that story. I said, guys, they just got on a roll, and and it's like that group in there we got better and better defensively. Jim Pavo did such a great job with our defense. He got them. They were ready to play. Mm-hmm. They were ready to play, and of course we had Deshaun.
Yeah, hey, listen, he was all right.
Deshaun, would make any coach look good. But Michael Perry did a great job with him, and he was well prepared, and he just played super, and our team played super.
Yeah.
The fact that we stopped them early in the game on a 4th and 1 at midfield probably turned the whole game around.
Sets the tone.
Yeah, and Fred Payne was unbelievable. Fred Payne was not going to let us lose. Mm-hmm. Fred Payne said, Coach, we're not going to lose. And I said, well, I wish you could show me that quickly.
Where's the crystal ball you're looking
I
in,
think
my man?
he intercepted a pass or intercepted 2 and returned a fumble and our defense just played super. And of course, Deshaun was amazing, and and we were able to win it.
You come back with the trophy to a community that has been starved for one, and been successful everywhere else, and was successful in football. But there's a difference between being successful all the time and winning a state title, right?
Yeah.
You come back with that trophy. What was the reception like?
Oh, it was unbelievable. Totally unbelievable. Marion Dyer was our superintendent at the time, and she was going to make sure that we had a day to go to the stadium to pronounce the state championship. And the first day we were supposed to have it, it poured rain. It poured rain, and she called it off. And then we had it again later, and it was a perfect day, a winter day, warm. So we went to City Park, and just holding that trophy and just being a part of everything. Here's what happens when you win a state championship. You wake up the next morning and you say, "I dreamed that." I dreamed that. That didn't really happen, because every coach wants to win a state championship.
Absolutely.
It just happened. In the reality that it had done it is almost surreal. I mean, for a week you think, now wait a minute, somebody's going to come take this thing away. But we did. We played well, and we won it, and glory be to God.
I thought you were going to say you woke up the next morning and said, "How am I going to do this again?"
Yeah,
no,
that's what
that's the thought too.
Yeah,
that's the thought too. But right now, you just want to enjoy the moment.
Enjoy the moment. Yep.
So as we wrap up here with you, Coach, and again, love having you in here with us. Listen, you're not just a legend at Gainesville High School and within Gainesville football. You are as a coach in the state of Georgia. And I mean that both as someone who loves you personally and someone who loves great coaches. You are an absolute legend. So as we wrap up here with you, again, I don't know how many times I can say it, but it just is so, so darn good to say. Only state title football winning coach. It'll be better when we have another coach we can say that about. But you were named to the Hall of Fame this past spring, Gainesville Athletics Hall of Fame. You've accomplished everything there is to accomplish, and did it with the Red Elephants, a community that's very proud, tradition-rich, standard of excellence. What did being a Red Elephant mean to you? What does all of it mean to you?
It's just one of those things that you can't fathom. I was at church a couple of years ago, and they were talking about a new year coming and the blessings, and I stopped and I thought, God, I don't know how you can bless me anymore. This has been tremendous. And God told me, He said, if I can keep you alive, you're gonna keep blessing. And so it's just a thrill. It's something that you could almost break down and cry about.
Yeah.
Because it was such a special moment.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. It certainly can be overwhelming. And Coach, you have been a blessing to us, here at Gainesville. And I don't mean this lightly. You were certainly one of the reasons I agreed to come and take this job, that opportunity to come and work and learn from you. So I'm appreciative of the time that we got to spend together as well.
We did.
All right, Coach Bruce Miller, always a pleasure. Don't be a stranger. Because in our hearts, in our heads, and in our record books, you never will be, my man. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Adam, while we hope that there are other coaches who join the ranks of Bruce Miller.
Absolutely. Soon.
The first being Coach Josh Niblett. There's nothing like talking to really a historic figure.
Absolutely.
That's still around for Gainesville. A pleasure to be able to have him on.
Yeah, and he's so fun to talk to.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got great stories. He's still, he's not here with us every day, but he's still proud to be a Red Elephant.
Yeah.
He carries so much of that history. He coached so many great players and so many great teams. Just glad that he's still here in our community and we're able to pull him as we need him and bend his ear as we, he's just a great guy to have around.
And it really was an unbelievable honor to, first of all, and this is not a pat on the back here, but to be inducted into the Hall of Fame with with him this past spring, but also see him inducted. It was a very emotional moment, and kind of a full circle moment that, you know, for many reasons, a myriad of reasons, I won't forget, but one being that I you know, got to be there with him.
Well, and very well deserved by both of you. I'll throw
appreciate that. Yeah. So listen, football bye week. So it was a great opportunity. And there really didn't have a whole lot going on with it being Labor Day.
It allowed us extra time.
Right.
You know, and
allowed us some extra time. And that's why we wanted to have Coach Miller on. We wanted to kind of have our first alumni, our first sort of journey to the past, right? Behind the G is all about bridging the gaps between what was, what is, and what will be. And I don't know a more perfect person to do that, to kind of kick off that part of this podcast than Coach Bruce Miller. I would like him to invite, though, all of you Red Elephants or non-Red Elephants out there listening, if you know of an alumni, a former student athlete here at Gainesville High School, a former coach that you would like to hear from, to know what they're up to know how they felt about a certain situation, please send us that name, katie.davis@gcssk12.net. We are open to all suggestions. We've created a list already, and some of the names, folks, that are going to be names that maybe you've forgotten about. Laura Neff. I've had the great fortune of playing basketball and softball and soccer with Laura Neff back in the day, and of course she was a key component of the girls' first state basketball championship, also a key component of ensuring the softball team played for 2 state championships in the aftermath of her leaving. But we've also got several other former people like Wesley Martin and a Charlie Strong that we're looking to catch up with.
And I'm looking forward to catching up with some of our athletes that are currently playing in college.
Yeah.
I think, you know, they graduate and we tout them while they're here, and then not that we forget about them, but I love catching up with them. I love hearing the stories of what they're going through, what they're dealing with at the college level, how what we do here has helped prepare them for where they're at. I think those are great stories, and I'm really looking forward to having some of those guys on and girls to talk to them about just what they're doing right now and how the college experience is for them, because it's changed so much over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So those are great conversations I'm looking forward to having.
So, folks, this is all about keeping you up to date with what's going on at Gainesville High School within Red Elephant Athletics right now, but it's also equally about letting you know how we got to the success that makes this place a tradition-rich, standard of excellence bearer that we are, and that is involving the alumni, involving the former coaches, and then taking us into the future. What's coming up? That's what we're all about here at Behind the G. For myself, Katie B. Davis, co-host, athletic director at Gainesville High School, Adam Lindsey. Been a pleasure bringing you this episode.